No, what's the difference in this team now than the one that played Iowa the first time in your eyes?
I think that there's a little bit more responsibility in terms of what guys have to do each position, or possession and position. I think that's probably the biggest thing of saying, hey, this is your rotation, this is your guard, this is your blockout, this is, as opposed to saying, hey, we got to get it done, cover for each other, that sort of thing.
Things have been clarified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Do games when you lose to a team once and then you have the rematch, whether it's home or there, does it take on more importance? Is there any different approach that you take to this game, knowing that they've already gotten you once?
Well, I think that I leave that up to the players, just in terms of me standing up there and saying, hey, this team's already beat us once. They know that, and you hope that each team has a maturity. The biggest thing I want them to know is why they beat us, why they got out to 17-5 start, why they did this to us, why they did that to us, and those are the things that trying to get corrected and telling our guys, these are the things that we have to do in order to have a chance to win the basketball game on Saturday, because we didn't do them the first time and it didn't work out well. So it's more of a responsibility issue, game plan in saying, hey, this is what has to happen in order for us to win.
I know it's still relatively early in the Big Ten season, but I mean, Wisconsin has a lot. You're sitting there with 2 losses and right there in front of a lot of teams. Do you feel like this is an important? I mean, I know they're all important.
Yeah.
You say that, but just to kind of stay right there and to think of it with a glut of teams.
It's funny because I don't know the ins and outs of who plays who, when they play, all that stuff. But I do, if you look at the Big Ten standings, I think that these early games are important in terms of late season games. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a team every year that wins a couple that they're not supposed to win. And then all of a sudden, down the stretch, there they are in the thick of things, in the hunt of things, and hopefully that's who we are. But a lot easier said than done.
Yeah, Coach, what were some of the things that you came out of the Michigan game the other night saying these are finally some things that we were hoping to reinforce and that maybe that really came, I guess, to fruition in that game?
Well, I think taking care of the basketball, I thought we did a very good job of taking care of the basketball. I thought we did a good job of executing against all 3 defenses that we saw. And we're going to see the same on tomorrow from the man-to-man, the 2-3, the 1-3-1. Defensively, I thought that we did a nice job of understanding we got to attempt to take these things away the best that we can, and looking at their 2 best players and say, hey, they take a majority of their shots. We know they're going to shoot, but let's limit them as much as we can and make them as difficult as we can. And I thought that was something we did a good job of.
Mm-hmm. And just to follow, it seems like DAngelo has had kind of a quiet, very good season. It seems like kind of you're always counting on him to get high double digit, or high teens, whatever. Just your thought maybe about how he's, he does have some wrinkles he needs to iron out, but on the whole, he's been pretty consistent, I think, for you guys.
Yeah, DAngelo's had, to this point, a tremendous freshman season. I think that, he's had a few games where he struggled, and, ironically, we lost them, and everybody wants to say, well, what happened? Well, we need him to play well. I think that, one of the great things that I've seen with DAngelo is his explosiveness to score the basketball, but also make other guys around him better. He had a couple of plays in the Michigan game that were high caliber plays. I think that he and Shannon together have a great bond in terms of when they're on the floor together and working together and kind of leading this basketball team. So I've been very, very pleased with what he's brought in. And probably the biggest thing, Steve, is he just keeps wanting to get better. He keeps working, he keeps studying, he keeps asking questions, and those are the things that I think are the makings of a great player.
You said after the last Iowa game that toughness was something that this team needed. A few weeks later, how do you, I mean, obviously you had to be tough to win at Minnesota, and you played pretty tough at Indiana, you just couldn't make any shots. But
Right.
where do you think it is right now? I don't need on a scale of 10.
Okay. No, I think that we're getting there. I think we're playing with a little bit more purpose. I think we're playing with a little bit more understanding. I think that all those things entail and bring out toughness. But hey, ball's going to go up tomorrow night, and it's going to be man on man, and who comes up with it? We've got to come up with the basketball. I think that Iowa obviously has a veteran basketball team, a very talented basketball team, and we're going to have the toughness to withstand the runs. You look at just watching them. All the runs that they're able to put on real quick, and 17 points here in the first 4 minutes. We got to have toughness to withstand and try to prevent that.
Mm-hmm. And also, Matt was mentioning the glut of teams in the Big Ten that are all together. The way this Big Ten schedule is, with who you play once and where you play them, do you think big picture at all about how games like a win at Iowa would affect the way the NCAA tournament selection committee looks at you? Do you put any more emphasis on a game because of that? Like, do you need that win more than maybe you need a win at Northwestern or something like that?
I haven't thought that far ahead.
Okay.
But it's funny because you and I talked about it before the season even started, about the schedule. That was
you
something.
don't get to play at Wisconsin, you don't get to play at Maryland, and those are,
It's not all
could
bad.
be good or bad.
Right. No, honestly, I haven't even thought in terms of that.
Okay.
But obviously, I think in this league, with how things will unfold, any win is going to be a big win. I really do.
Okay.
First time you played, another thing that helped them was rebounding, which they do to a lot of teams.
Right.
Did that have to do with the zone, or is that just them, and how
Yeah,
important is that tomorrow?
a little bit of both. I mean, we excuse me, did not make strong enough attempts to rebound the basketball at the level we needed to, and they did, and that played a huge part in the game. I think that their offense is set up to crash the glass, and we got to know where they're coming from and find them. And we've shown that we can clean rebound the basketball. Majority of the time, we're scoring at the other end.
A couple games ago against Indiana, you guys went small for a stretch, sort of to match what Indiana was doing. But do you think that this team, that you have the type of players that you can maybe go small for stretches against bigger lineups and have an advantage?
I do, yeah, because I think you're in essence talking about Jay Sean, and just like the way he practiced yesterday and the way he's been playing. I think that is, but as Bob brought up, it does take away a rim protector in terms of overall defense. But like Iowa went small against Minnesota late game the other day, so a lot of it's just a game time decision. But I think we could.
Kate played a lot in the Indiana game and has at times, and then not so much. Is that just because you guys weren't in a flow and, hey, just keep those guys?
Yeah, it was more of a defensive. I love the job Sam, but we played Sam a lot of minutes, and I didn't want, if at all possible, for LeVert to get filling those, because we had seen Michigan come back from behind numerous times this year in the second half. Good. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Coach. Have a safe trip.